Hello, my name is René Chodora, and I will present our work DaRt, Generative Art using Dimensionality Reduction algorithms. We present DaRt, a new approach that uses Dimensionality Reduction to generate art. We do this by plotting intermediate results of the DaRt optimization for a dataset with a colored Voronoi. DaRt produces images as follows. The input consists of a tabular numerical dataset and a user-chosen color scale. In this example, the iris dataset consists of 150 samples of measurements of exemplars of different iris flowers. The data features are measured of the flower's sepals and petals. We feed the features into a dimensionality reduction algorithm, which starts projecting the dataset to 2 dimensions. The algorithms we use here optimize their result in multiple iterations. After each optimization step, we draw a Voronoi tessellation of the projection on top of the current image with some opacity, which creates softer shapes. Each Voronoi cell gets filled with the sample's specific color from the chosen color scale. After the optimization is finished, we have a generated image. Here we can see the process over different iterations from left to right, and our rendering steps in each iteration from top to bottom. The first row shows the projected data points, in this case using the UMAP algorithm. The second row shows the Voronoi tessellation of these points. And the bottom row shows the intermediate results of the DaRt process. The selected color of a data point is defined by the color scale and its index in the dataset. Each data sample, and thereby its point, is assigned a color by its order in the dataset. This ordering can be changed to create different effects as shown later. The process for faces is a little bit different. Here the input can be a photo or painting of a face or a webcam video stream. To extract points, we use the face landmark detection model provided by TensorFlow.js, which predicts 486 three-dimensional facial landmarks. The image's color of each point will then be used in the following process, which is the same as before. An iterative DaRt method projects the three-dimensional facial landmarks, and the Voronoi tessellation of each optimization step gets drawn on top of the intermediate result with some opacity. If the source is a stream like a webcam input, we need to update the positions of the facial landmarks and thus also the basis on which the DaRt method optimizes. Here are more examples of images generated using DaRt with a scatterplot of the final DaRt result of the respective data on top. They have very different structures and therefore result in different spatial patterns. We use different color scales to show the influence of color choice on the aesthetic. The input to the first image is a three-dimensional dataset, the well-known Swiss roll toy dataset. The input to the second image is also a three-dimensional dataset, the waves dataset. Its points lie on a two-dimensional grid but form hills and valleys with the third dimension. The third image uses a subset of the fashion MNIST dataset, which has 768 dimensions and consists of little images of 10 different kinds of clothing items. And the last two images use a subset of the MNIST dataset, also with 768 dimensions, but with images of hand-drawn digits. Here are two examples for faces as input. In the first row, we use a picture of myself that you can see on the left. In the middle are the predicted three-dimensional facial landmarks, and on the right a generated image using Salmon's mapping. The second shows a section of the painting The Birth of Venus by Sandro Botticelli, and again the landmarks and the final result. Especially when using faces as input to DaRt, some typical behaviors of the different used DaRt methods become apparent. As Salmon's mapping is a technique from the multidimensional scaling family, which focuses on maintaining the distances between the data points, it often produces round shapes. With TSNE, on the other hand, which is known for focusing on local neighborhood distances and almost ignores larger distances, the originally dense areas are usually also dense in the result. The model for detecting facial landmarks uses the key point map on the left, which shows the dense areas around eyes, nose, and mouth. For example, in the last picture in the second row, the points defining the lips are correctly positioned, but the mouth as a whole is turned upside down. A lot of the predicted facial landmarks are very dense near the eyes and thin between the eyes. So the smaller distances in the dense areas get more focus from TSNE than the distances between the eyes. Therefore, the eyes start to wander apart. In this example, we show the intermediate result after every 100th optimization step. The first image is the random initialization. The second image is still in the early exaggeration phase of TSNE, and then the more optimized TSNE steps follow. The true distance between the eyes is not large, but after some steps from a DaRt perspective, the optimization already converged pretty well at step 200 or 300. But the distances between the eyes increase further while everything else seems to stand still. As mentioned previously, the ordering of the points is important, since the ordering and the color scale define the color the points and Voronoi cells will have. The datasets we use come somewhat pre-ordered, mostly by label. For instance, the scatter plot in the middle shows the UMAP projection of the mammoth dataset. The 4 images on the right show the result of our process using the same projection, but various orderings. With the original ordering, the result has larger patches with clear boundaries. When we shuffle the dataset first, then the image consists of smaller, softer patches. After mapping the two-dimensional points of the projection onto a Hilbert curve, we can order the points along this curve. This ordering results in smoother color gradients, but the shape of the Hilbert curve becomes visible. We can also use optimal leaf ordering, which orders the data points by similarity and results in smooth color gradients, but without artifacts. You can see DaRt in action on Observable and tinker with the settings and the code producing the images, or you can try it out on this webpage, creating images from datasets and customized settings, and you can generate an DaRt image with own photos or paintings of faces, and you can also try DaRt with a webcam input. Thank you for your attention.